Pasha Paroh, thank you for tuning. All right. So let's get into it here. I'm ready to go. I understand the purpose now. I understand what the flaw was. It actually wasn't a flaw. It's just timing. Everything had to be wait for the perfect timing. So I put this on the Facebook today. I prepared some things. I wanted to share this with you. So I realized, it's going to be some people out there that's going to say, oh, Pasha just now talking this, just now talking that. That's because they don't know me. They didn't watch YNet 7 for the last 6 years. They didn't watch the videos. They didn't understand the They didn't comprehend the videos. They didn't know me back in the 2000s. You see what I'm saying? So they don't know. Right? For the rest of y'all and for the future, this is where we're at. This is the beginning of America. Right here. Okay? My fellow Americans. Let me just turn this off. I normally rock the music, but I'm gonna turn it off today. My fellow Americans. Today, I stand before you. Not, I'm a teleprompt this, okay? So this is like, y'all like when the USA do this. So I'm gonna do it for America. Today I stand before you, not as a savior, but as someone who shares and understands your pain, your disappointment, and your sense of betrayal. See, my opposition in all different forms and fashion has led many of you astray. And for that, I should apologize. But sometimes we need to witness the consequences of misplaced loyalty in order to truly see the light. See, it was all fun and games when you thought they knew what they talking about, when you thought they was just cooler, when you thought they had your best intent in mind. Their lies, their deceit have actually paved the path to our victory together. See, history has shown us all time and time again that from the ashes of betrayal, we can rise stronger than ever before. And right now, you're feeling the pain of being betrayed in so many ways. In so many ways. You feel like your government's lied to you. You feel like your banks lied to you. You feel like The music industry lied to you. You're wondering how the food industry is poisoning you. Ain't nobody saying nothing about it. You're wondering why the water ain't safe to drink. You're wondering why you thought there was money and there ain't been no money in circulation since the 1930s, and all you have is fiat currency. And if you base your life off of chasing something that's fake and fraudulent, then what does that mean that you value in life? And are you fake and fiat because you are what you eat? So if you're out there eating all the bread, don't you become what you eat? You right now are feeling the pain of being betrayed in so many ways by every fucking body that you trusted. And the most painful part is they're the ones you're leaving your children with in the future. The same system, the same people, the same network, the same organizations that have stripped you of the blood flow in your veins, in your arteries. You are entrusting with the future generations you hold most dear. We have witnessed the betrayal of ideals where leaders have abandoned the principles and values they swore to uphold. I don't care if it's your governor or your local librarian telling you why you can't check out a book or they can't get you a banned copy of a book. Leaving us disillusioned and lost. We have felt the sting of betrayal from those who were supposed to be our greatest supporters as they prioritize personal gain and power over well-being for all. Our trust has been shattered by leaders who deceived you and manipulated you, eroding your faith in every institution that should be working for us, we the people of America. But let us not forget the historical examples that remind us of the power of rebuilding after betrayal, like the Watergate scandal, deceit and cover up of an administration. The next time you look at your management at work, the next time you look at your local community leadership teams, the next time you look at your HSA or HOA or both, all of the above, led to a new era of transparency and accountability. The Enron collapse shed light on corporate greed, prompting so-called reforms and a renewed focus on ethical practices. Just like the Berlin Wall fall symbolized triumph over an oppressive regime built on lies and suppression, America can be America again. This is our moment. We can no longer tolerate the betrayal that has plagued our nation. And together, only together, not one group running and buying 90 acres and putting a fence around it, because the fence ain't gonna stop shit. Together, we can rise above the ashes of broken promises and rebuild a community founded on truth integrity, and justice for all. Now, I humbly, and I say humble because what I forgot to do this time, all of this time, is ask y'all for the currency, the support that it's actually worth. I was so busy helping the community, helping everybody do everything that I felt like was of value to the community. And I paid for it all myself, basically. And now I can't pay for anything else. And the next level we got to go to is going to be an exponential greater cost. See, I've done a lot of studying from 9mm to intercontinental ballistic missile, from variables to equations, from feelings to logic, from truth to the infinity of. So I humbly ask you to pledge your support to me, not as a leader, but as someone who will walk alongside of you to achieve our entitlements, your interests, and the future you deserve. We can write together, rewrite the narrative of our nation. Let us prove to history that from the depths of betrayal, we can emerge stronger and united. I mean, they call themselves the United States, but all we see is lines drawn on the map and how divided they are in everything. If we don't have one voice, we don't have no voice. And together, we will build a future that is worthy of our trust and filled with universal awareness. This is age of enlightenment. We are exiting the age of deceit. Let's reclaim what is rightfully ours. And what I'm looking for to start nationwide, know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, whatever the case might gotta be, 6 degrees of separation, you figure it out. I need 2,000 people to send as a donation $1,000 each. And I take responsibility for that because I didn't ask for decades for anything from you. All I asked you to do was pay attention and learn the information and the science. But now we have to manifest some shit in our communities. We got to manifest. And I thought, honestly, I thought I could do it myself and put myself, because all these years in the beginning when I asked for help, it was all good until we got to actually, no, it was never good. It was never good, but that actually is what I learned. See, my disappointment, and the Cash App is right there. It's Cash App, $Y, the letter Y, NET7. Okay? The reason why it was never good. What I mean when I say that is I came to you guys with an unrealistic expectation, and it just fucking dawned on me. Like all these years, I've always been saying my goal is not to convert you. My goal is to find out what you were good at and empower you to be better, greater, stronger, more sustainable so that the community around you could be sustainable. And I kept enjoying that process. Like I said, it's people that got $40,000 worth of marketing and branding for $250. And then they act like they don't know me. But that's not the point. The point of the matter is I needed them to have those tools so that they could do what they're doing for the community today, because that's what was important to me. See, the word pay, the etymology of the word pay means to satisfy, especially when dealing with money. But see, my greatest satisfaction was empowering the community. And I always kept a little something, to keep myself sustainable so I could be in position to do this for people that couldn't afford it, because that's what we doing. We building shit. So I was satisfied in the growth of the people around me, the growth and development. I go to the leadership and I empower the leadership and encourage them. This is what we need, and let them translate to the 5,000 people. I didn't have to be the face. That's the problem. It's people running around here right now doing what they learned from Pasha, but they don't know Pasha's where they got the information from. And then they on there talking about how much they against us, not realizing that they are actually practicing the agenda established by Pasha. All right. So I have the background. I had to realize that it was me. The reason why I don't find nobody to do me basically is because I'm the one that's supposed to do it. I didn't think of it that way. I just knew not to convert people, and I would help them and I'll put them in position, and I'm going to look and I'm wondering, why isn't there anyone else? Now, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. That's not what I'm here saying to you. Don't get that fucked up. Okay? Yeah, I might test in the top 2% in the nation. I might be called a genius by people, but what's important is to know that you don't know what you don't know. And what's beautiful is when you can say to yourself, I don't know what I don't know. And you know what? Or I know that I only know X about this, and there's other people out there that know more. And let's get them empowered and get them involved in the position. Now, this is public. I don't mind this, because this is what gives me the value to see, among other things, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I was in the advanced gifted program. Yeah, so what? I was studying Greek mythology and analogies in 3rd grade, all this advanced education stuff as a kid all the way up to middle school. Yeah, so what? I went to the National Science Olympiad competition, finished in top 10 in 3 different events, highest one, 3rd place in the nation. So what? Right? So what? Right? What does that do for you? Right? What does it mean to you that I got a 34 Wonderlic score that tests in the top 2% in the nation? What it means is that these companies here and others like them will give me access to a blank check to go solve problems for them and justify the ROI for the solution. And I'm just sick and tired of going into these toxic workplaces just like you are. I'm the one that also goes in and changes the culture and makes it better. And 80% of the time, like you said it, like you heard me say in another video, it works well. 20% of the time, it doesn't end well for me. And you know what? It's not about me. It's about when I left, the people that I left behind and the people that will come after me are in a better environment. But my fascination is, why are they willing to invest in me to extract and destroy our community, extract from and destroy our communities in various ways? But the community fails to see the same potential to need to invest in me the same fashion. It don't make sense. But see, the thing was, I never asked y'all for the money, as y'all would call it. What I was doing was I was looking for someone to help me do it. And then what I learned was, not to say I learned, it stumbled in my mind like, oh shit, people don't want to do this, right? They're actually scared. They're afraid. Matter of fact, here, this is what it is right here. Let's go back to Facebook. See, right here. See, what I realized is that, here. What I realized is that I was asking you for the wrong thing. I asked you to help by participating in doing, to help me fix the problems, to help me install the solutions. See, and then you had many reasons why you didn't/couldn't. And I captured a lot of that in this artwork that I had generated for me, for us. See, if we look at that artwork, it's a lot said there. It said, my mistake, and the revelation came after I produced this. It said, my mistake is I revealed the truth to those who believed in the perceived freedom, that we could truly be free. I'm telling them this is how we could truly be free. But the United States was holding their future hostage. It's holding your future hostage. And that caused you to sacrifice me in many ways for acceptance of and by the system. You wanted to be a part of the system because you saw the system as your salvation, as your savior, as your provider for your future generations that you were working so hard to protect. And they're in mental and physical cages, and you don't realize that's what it is. And like I said, the reality is that people actually pay currency for what they don't want to do or can't do themselves. See, that's where I went wrong. Y'all kept going ghost and not wanting to participate, and I was like, oh shit, it's not they have their reasons, like their children are being held hostage, and they don't know to perceive it like that, but that's what's happening. So I accept. Because see, I'm already involved with this. I'm like a couple decades in. My name's already on every alphabet list, right? I'm already involved. I'm going to die. I know you feel like you're going to live forever. Pasha's going to die. So Pasha is like, I'm dying for something. Okay? So I accept. Don't put your lives on the line. Don't do that. That's American. And I'm not talking about mercenary Air Force, military, army bullshit, United States citizen confused going out there fighting for democracy when this is a republic. I'm not talking about that. My life already been on the line for this shit for decades. I made it this far. Regardless of what happened to me tomorrow, I'm decades in. I am going to die anyway. So the correct help that I need from you is funding. See, Osama bin Laden, now forget the whole planes into the, forget that part for a moment for this example. He's just a billionaire. He didn't even have a country that backed him, supported him, whatever. And he could make an impact on the world. Bill Gates, whatever you feel about him, a billionaire, had all them people taking shots around the world. See, I may not need you to help because you want to sit there like you got to sit there because your kids are in the cage. I got that. This is part of why I had to go through what I went through in life to not have any emotional attachments to shit. When my family threw me in the mental hospital for being true, it kind of fucked that up for me. You know what I'm saying? This is why they nervous. This is why they don't want to see me get too. You know how people be like, you can't get successful without joining. This is why joining the Illuminati. This is why they don't want me to get to that level because they know they probably all gone because they already all gone. Like I wouldn't even care because where have you been? What have you been doing? You threw me in the mental hospital for being true. Like I don't have emotional attachments like you. So you go back to the keyboard, back to the factory. Because your kid's in a cage and you're scared. I get that. I'm not even saying in a negative way. I'm saying you still at heart want America to be free. And I talk to a lot of y'all. I talk to business owners. I talk to students. I talk college students. I talk to government workers. I talk to people who get contracts with the government. I talk to people who just want to be accepted by the people they see on the internet. I talk to all of y'all. And what you don't realize is you all want the same thing. But you're confused and have been abused so much that you don't question what reality is, what truth is. So don't put your lives on the line. Invest in me to free America. Because I've been studying this for decades. And it's like, I see the shit. I know what we got to do. And if I could write the check, I could show you tomorrow. I could fucking show you tomorrow. I'm going to die anyway. Worst case scenario, you just watch. Put your donation in and you can sit back and watch. You pay $400 to go watch the Panthers get fucked up all season. You know what I mean? Put $400 in here, right? Buy a couple tickets to Pasha. Because if I win, if I put the team together and put people in the right position like I've been doing, but with a more precise cause, and we win, America free. If I die trying, it'll be in front of the whole fucking world like the blood spilled for the citizens in the Roman Colosseum. And like the Gladiator movie, I can turn to you in my last breath and be like, are you not entertained? Although that wasn't his last breath. But if those gotta be my last words to have a real shot, at change, at making America what it needs to be, then I'm gonna die anyway. So 2,000 people, go ahead and send that Cash App for $1,000 each. Or I need 2,000 groups of people to send the Cash App for $1,000. Because I never asked y'all for nothing. And I was wondering why you didn't appreciate the content. The content getting better. Hold on, I gotta call you back, whoever that is. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You didn't understand the purpose or whatever. I get it. See? So I asked each United States citizen, because I know the American mentality, right? So I know I got the Americans. We may not all have the budget. That's what I'm saying. Get together, do what you gotta do. Let's put this together. Are you living a life worth dying for? I showed you the last slide. You had the keyboard, you're in the factory, your kids in a cage being dangled off a cliff, threatened that if you don't go back to work the next day, you're going to lose everything for them, right? Are you living a life worth dying for? Or are you dying to live a life worth living? It's time, America. It's time that 2,000 of y'all send me $1,000. Okay? Because we got to do something about this. And I'm the right one for the job. All right? So let's get back to that resume. Because that's the corporate shit. Y'all know I got shit that I've been studying and doing. But here's the shit. All right? Now see, for me, this started a long time ago. And we all had moments where we thought about being, well, I ain't gonna say we all did, but when you start certain businesses and industries, you kind of start to be motivated and think about, well, what am I gonna do if I become XYZ successful? You know, you're gonna buy the big house, are you? Question mark. What you gonna do? And then I saw a town, Tiller, Oregon, on sale for $3.6 million. 256 acres, came with 6 residents at the time. The post office, you didn't own the post office, but you own the land under it, they said. Despite the fact that owning land is an illusion, certain people know the truth. For another 300,000, you got the school, the whole 9. And when you do a little bit more research, you find that in America, the average home plot is a 1/4 acre. So if you wanted to maximize population, you could fit roughly 1,000 homes on that plot, that 256 acres. This is decade before the news started. Oh, somebody bought 90 acres, got together, a group bought 90 acres, put homes on it for their family. Yeah, right. So here's what I'm getting at. Okay. When you look at it, though, you wouldn't want to maximize population. You want to have a park for recreation. You want to have a shopping area. You want to have solar panel roadways. Because my thing was, what would happen if we used the technology available today and built it from scratch? We would have solar panel roadways. So we wouldn't have any need for electricity bills, because the streets themselves would provide electricity and power. The technology's been out for 10, 15 years now. We could have Wi-Fi for the whole city, free, like Philadelphia did before I came down here in their inner city. What would it look like if we built this from scratch the way we want it to be what we want society to be. And so I looked at my life and I was like, I've never been one of the ones that, because I did have a 34 Wonderlic score and I could do anything, I never went to college for a degree, because a degree will change my status. That's another conversation though. But what it was I never saw the value in paying to learn. And I know a lot of people that own businesses and are in certain positions now, they didn't get why I was so hesitant and reluctant to pay them to so-called teach me something. Whether it was music or it was photography or it was whatever the fuck I was doing in life. Marketing, branding. I never paid to learn. I always studied, got good enough to get paid to learn more. So when I went and did time, right? Because that's what it is, volunteer slavery. Y'all call them jobs. Y'all all, I got the job. No, it's volunteer slavery. So when I went and did time at Discover Financial, I'm looking at the situation like these motherfuckers paid $32,000 for someone to come in who specialized in the concept of tone and communication, because we worked on the phone. I'm gonna put this together for you. I'm gonna build the bridge. But see, I'm letting you know I am the one. I am the omnipresence. That's why I don't understand when people, I'm trying to connect with God. If you're not connected with the Most High, that's another conversation. But look, because Most High, whatever you want to call him in your language, is omnipresent. It's in every single atom, down to the universes inside the atom. If you're not connected, so they spent 32 grand on teaching us tone. Now, when I look at the mathematics of shit, and I say they paid 32,000 for me to learn tone, how do I compare that to your 4-year degree that you paid 18 grand for? Spent 4 years of your life going back, listening to someone tell you some shit you already knew. I didn't see the value. And I just did a video, a couple months ago about it being, you're just a product when you go through that. I couldn't have articulated it like that 20 years ago, but I can now because of the experience and the exposure I've had. See, that's why you should go watch more of the YNet 7, no matter where you're seeing this at. So when they spending 32 grand on tone, I don't know, 50 grand on controlling the calls, they call it, but that's really controlling the conversation. Things like active listening. See, I see the flaws in people. I just don't judge y'all. But then I understand that people get emotional because they don't know what the words mean. So when I say, oh, the word minority means to be childlike mind, and United States citizens are, if you think you're a United States citizen to begin with, you're a minority. But because you don't know the truth of why that is true, your emotions kick in. You might have thought you were what they call a white person. You might have thought you came from Africa and became a United States citizen. So you don't know the truth. You just know what someone told you. And you've been running around repeating that your whole life, feeling privileged, feeling empowered, feeling like you got rights instead of privileges. You ain't got shit. You don't own shit. You never will. So what the fuck are you doing it for? So let's get back to the resume and how it makes sense. Because early on, I realized, hey, At that point in time, my goal was to start a city, to start my own city. See, because all time affects all time all the time. So everything you've been through is training you for what you're supposed to become. So I appreciate the people who don't do nothing but watch the news and repeat that shit, watch the game and repeat a score, memorize it. Because guess what? All we gotta do is get you to figure out you repeating the wrong shit. Since you want to play a parrot, let's get you to parrot the right shit. Let's feed you the right information to go repeat in the community. You want to argue about who the greatest of all time? Fuck Jordan, fuck LeBron. Here's what you need to do. Pasha Paroh. America. Oh, I used to be up here doing the Diddy Shuffle, Diddy Slide, whatever it was called 10 years ago. You were bad boy this, bad boy that. Now all of a sudden y'all quiet. Right? Y'all quiet right now, all y'all. Where all the bad boy fans at? Like I said, you invested in the wrong leadership. You supporting the wrong motherfuckers. Meanwhile, the right motherfucker standing right in front of you, trying to diss them. You trying to talk behind their back. You trying to sneak diss them. You know what I mean? Trying to talk around them, but not say nothing to them. Right? So anyway, the point of the matter is, what I saw I could do is I could go into corporate America, infiltrate corporate America, who spends billions of dollars on knowledge, and I could learn while y'all in there playing about who the coolest, who dressing the best, who doing it. Oh, you fly shit, motherfucker, you at a factory making plastic. Who gives a fuck what kind of sneakers you got on? They supposed to be steel toe, right? Who gives a fuck that you got a Benz or a BMW or a truck or this or that? You spend 8 minutes in it to get to work. You let it warm up more than it took you to travel here. It sits out front while you in here for 8 to 12. Oh, actually, you working 12 to 16-hour days because you can't afford it without. Then you hop in it, let it warm up for 12 more minutes, take your 8-minute travel back home. It sits out there with maybe one or two other cars you might have, whatever your family has that sit there. Your home does nothing but hold the shit that you collected while you go to work. So you can come back to it. So if you're supposed to sleep for 8 hours, you're really only using that aside from sleeping for 2 hours a day. What the fuck you talking about? You can't even live and you don't know it. But you're so boastful about how good of a slave you are. So what I did is I realized these companies spend billions of dollars on information and knowledge. And while y'all was in there playing and complaining, I was in there studying everything. I was studying every fucking thing. I was studying everything they had. I was studying you and your emotional ass and what led you this way and what led you that way. I didn't give a fuck about your little childish bullshit. I don't give a fuck about what you think about me. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. If I said anything to you, it was child abuse. Because you're just an emotional, childlike figure, a lot of them. I couldn't talk to you. I'm doing real fucking shit. And you don't even see it because you vision too narrow. You think I got time to argue with you? When I'm arguing with you, it's practice, it's exercise. I'm studying you so I can learn about the defects. because I'm trying to fix society. Yeah, I let you get that victory. Yeah, I let you get that dub, because to me, it ain't shit. It was an exercise. You don't even realize you lost the argument because you're too busy celebrating your emotional attachment to a belief. You don't even realize in front of the whole company, in front of the whole world, you proved yourself wrong the whole fucking time. So what I realized is that these companies spent billions of dollars on knowledge. I go in and get the knowledge. I'm not worried about what you think about me. And I went in to get the knowledge because my goal was to build a city. So the first thing I'm gonna need to do is have great customer service experiences. Pasha Paroh. This is what makes you want to invest in Pasha Paroh. I got people that own businesses that ain't done shit trying to tell me about sales and customer service. My highest month was 1,069% gold. I would go to events with the premier photographer in the DC, the New York area, and I would outsell him at the event. I've always been an overachiever. There's no point in me bragging about that. It's just another day at the office of America for me. So when I try to share with you that you doing all this talk about sales and it's so simple, if you knew the map of consciousness, all you're trying to do is take people from the lower, because an enlightened person don't have to be sold on what they want. They already know they're enlightened. If you really have to sell somebody on something, you're taking them from an emotional state, a low vibrational state, and you're simply working to move them through this area here, from anywhere up here, from shame. You know what I mean? They don't want to buy the new Maybach because they're gonna feel ashamed what people might think, and they're guilty, or they apathetic and they just don't have it. There's some grief involved. They got to get out of the fear. Oh man, Maybach, pull up, somebody might try to rob me. Let me just get the Toyota. Then they may have the desire, but then they're angry. All this shit. You're just trying to move them through all these different things to get to the willingness to accept a reason. These three categories right here of emotion: willingness, accept, and reason. And then once you get them to that, they're sold. Then they can find a reason to have love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. That's all sales is. Y'all got all this books and shit y'all written talking shit about me, whatever the fuck it is, because you don't know shit. You make it so complicated. So fuck you. I'm here for America. We try and do some real shit. All right. Let's get back to it. So what I realized is that I got all customer service experience. I got sales training. I'm good with that. Oh, the Bancorp Bank. What was that about? That was about the behind the scenes of credit cards and banking and shit like that. Like they would, like if you were a company and you wanted to start your own credit card or debit card for your customers, that would be the bank that handled all of your accounts for you and make the cards, and it would come out in your business name, but it would be that bank behind the scenes. When you get your Kawasaki card and all that shit or whatever it might have been, that's the bank that all that went through. So I learned the behind the scenes. And then in my study of knowledge, I got to the point where I realized there was no money, which means there was no debt, which means what the fuck is this credit shit? And this is when I kind of separated from all that. Because at that moment, I was like, I'm just going to study this knowledge. I went down the rabbit hole. But see, I go hard in the motherfucking paint. Right? So if you look here, then I got the 3M. See? Because when the Most High tells me to leave, it's right before the city collapses. And I'm really not sure if I want to leave this time, because I know that means the city's going to collapse. Because I'm being sent to the next assignment. Because see, the thing is, my focus is America, and that's part of why I haven't been able to have emotional attachments, and it's a benefit for me, because when I help person A and I'm supposed to be done with them, it's time for me to go help person B. And they may think whatever they think. They may think I turned my back on them. They may think that um they turned their back on me. Whatever the fuck they may think, I don't care. What it is that the Most High had to create that thought process in their mind so that they could be okay and comfortable with, even if they mad at me, the fact that I had to go help the rest of the world. So, you can't develop feelings for fourth period and when the bell rings for you to go to fifth period. But what happens sometimes is that when people don't listen, when the Most High witnessed, He sent Jesus to you, and you abuse Jesus. Well, before the bombs fall, you gotta get Jesus out the way, right? So that the bombs can hit the rest of the city. And you try to tell people that, but their ego and their pride, right? But see, this is all by design, because that was the test for them in life. That was their test in life. When someone came to you and brought you a solution, would you help let the rest of the world know this is where you can get it from? Or would you pretend to be the face that it came from? And then you pretend to be that face, and then you can't do it because you don't really understand it. Remember, we said you're repeating, you're regurgitating. So you don't understand how it works. So you can't do it quality, and now the community's suffering, right? But they give you the credit, not realizing that they only got 20% of the value. So now the community is 20% of what it could have been if you had just let the right person do it. It would have been 100%, right? So I learned customer service. I learned sales. I learned how the banking system and credit card system work behind the scenes, HSBC, taxpayer financial service, shit like that. Then I come down here and I study manufacturing with 3M. I'm learning manufacturing. I'm learning how to do all this shit. I become a green belt. I'm leading $1 million projects with no fucking degree, no maintenance experience, and no manufacturing experience prior, because I got 34 100 score. See, I'm not used to having to have interviews and get you to, oh, do you like me? No, motherfucker, here go my test scores. You ain't got nobody else with this. You don't got no choice. And then I chose, which was my own, the gift and the curse. I turned down an opportunity making 70 plus a year to go and work at Securitas in my juridical person form, because to complete the thing, I was like, damn, the last part of the puzzle I need to really learn is security systems. Because if I'm going to have a city, I'm going to have to be able to advise on how we're going to operate on customer service level, how we're going to operate on the sales situations, and know how to, I'm going to have to get the financial corporation credit shit mentality enough to know I'm need to know industry and manufacturing. And then I'm going to need to know security. Some of y'all might remember my Facebook page. I'm posting tanks where we can buy tanks at. I'm posting how much a missile system would cost. I've been doing a lot of fucking studying. I know y'all been playing a lot of 2K. See, I'm not bullshit. The only problem was I thought that I could get to the point where I could write the checks myself. And I'm just running out of time with that. So here's the Cash App, right? I need 2,000 people to send me over $1,000. I'll put together something for you when we get there. I don't know if you want to be anonymous. I don't know if you want to be named, whatever. Put it in the Cash App. Put your phone number in there. I'll call you. We'll talk about it. Okay? My number right there on the screen. 302-932-6256. My email, pashaparoh@gmail.com. See, I ain't got shit to hide. The motherfuckers already know who I am. They've been watching me for a couple decades now. What else we got here? A couple more things. What else we got? Yeah. Won my own court cases, right? I won 3 of my own court cases. So when I be talking to people and I be trying to tell them, like, you got emotional attachments to belief, I recommend this book for them. The Tools of Argument. How the best lawyers think, argue, and win. A lot of times, it's not that you're not saying something of value. It's just that you're not saying something that merits the attention at the moment. It's not that you're wrong, you're just not right. And then you waste all this time, and then you want to say people don't understand you and this, that. No, you're just wrong. I mean, you're just not right. You're making the wrong argument. It don't matter if your facts are right, if your dates are correct. The wrong argument is the wrong argument. And because I've had experiences on winning my own court cases, I treat everything like an exercise. This is what I say to y'all. It'd be an exercise. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know, because that means we need to learn. Or if you can teach me something, okay, cool. Otherwise, we need to learn about that. I'm okay with telling you I don't know what I don't know. Then what I do is I go learn the shit and combine it with the rest of my knowledge, and that's what keeps me growing in the omnipresence. Not pretending that I know or I'm right when I'm wrong and I don't know. So these combined skills is what the leadership of our nation needs. And I realized that my error, like I said, was I was asking you for the wrong thing. I was asking you to help me do something on a scale that you can't fathom. And either it scared you from the sheer scale, or it scared you because you're a United States citizen and you don't know what it means to be American. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just stating the observation. But the right thing to ask you for is all I need, because when I look back at that resume, and when I look back at what I do in the community, whether it's logos or whatever the fuck, photography, I was always sent. Like when I was doing the pictures, I might have had a table assistant chick. Otherwise, other than that, I've done everything by myself. And I had to realize that, like, I'm always doing everything by myself. Now, when I'm leading a project, I'm leading it by myself. I go and work with certain people when I need to, just like I might show up in your life, work out some shit with you, and then go ahead on doing something else, just like I would in a big project. And I had to realize that that's the same fucking shit. It's the same equation. So I'm leading the project by myself, the same way I show up at whatever hole in the wall club or fancy high-end party by myself. I've always been by myself. A lot of chicks don't get it, so I don't really stay with chicks long, because they don't get it. They US citizen mindset, right? Girls just want to have fun. They don't know that they're in a prison. So my mission is to rebuild America, to restore America. And I need some motherfucking funding, people. All right? This ain't about United States. I wrote the song Murder in the Capitol, talking about running for president. I'm not talking about the United States system. I'm talking about America. We can't boycott what we have not built a system to replace. Now, if I was to pull up the other picture, if I put that in my little slideshow, I can show you that on the Wonderlic score, a systems analyst is a 32. A systems analyst, go ask them whatever the fuck their pay grade is a 32 Wonderlic score. I have a 34. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm super. I'm telling you, I could do all this shit that we need to have done. And what I need you to do as America is to recognize and appreciate my value and my enthusiasm to make us great. All of us, empower us. I'm talking about free electricity. I'm telling you, look, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I know you're going to live forever. I'm going to die. Okay? Many of us looking at the pyramids, we know a lot of shit was there. We know they were pulling electricity out the ether. I'm talking about, why the fuck are you going to work? Why are you not living a whole life? See, those that appreciate my music is because it's a new age. It's zeitgeist. I'm not hip hop. I'm zeitgeist movement. We came to fucking help humanity ascend in consciousness. That's what I've been telling y'all my whole life. I just been getting better at refining the process. But I've come under a lot of attacks lately because they knew what I didn't know about me before I even knew about me. It's like some John Connor shit. I was laughing at it like, oh shit, I'm John Connor. I'm gonna die. Let me die making America America, or having made America America. But give me the fucking opportunity I deserve. I need the funding. I've studied my whole life for this moment. To serve people is to serve God. And this is why you're going to invest in Pasha Paroh. Thank you for tuning. Here's the Cash App. I need 2,000 people to send $1,000 to get started. See, I know you think we need a lot of people. I know you think we need a lot of people. Let me do this for you real quick. Matter of fact, here. Let me put it in perspective for you. Two things. I want to do two things and then we'll get up out of here. But go ahead and hit them Cash Apps up. I mean, if you don't got 1,000, send 500. And then tell somebody else you know send 500. Together, you form Voltron, that's 1,000. Excuse me. Here. All right, so to put it in perspective for you, state level campaigns such as gubernatorial races also involve substantial financial or fundraising. So, for example, Republican primary candidates for governor in Indiana raised a combined of $12.5 million, with the leading fundraiser reporting $8.3 million in donations. Now, this is just their campaign to run for office. Okay? So I'm keeping it transparent with you. We're going to be able to start doing shit. Now, if they spent $8.3 million running for office, there are going to be more bills when we need to get shit done. But remember, you spent $500 on those Panther tickets. You paid $2,200 for that for the season passes. Or you might have paid $2,000 last week for courtside seats at the LeBron game. Now, it says here in Texas, the gubernatorial candidates raised a combined of $160 million with no campaign finance contribution limits in place. Okay? So we can get some M's up, and then I can organize the community, invest in the community for us to build America so that we can have our infrastructure and our shit in place so that we can reduce the codependency on big government of the United States corporation and the large corporations of their fascist connections, and actually empower we the people again. Y'all may not like the music because you don't know the words. So you don't know what I'm saying. Now here's the thing. All right. Let me show you this and then we can get up out of here. See, you feel like you need a lot of people. And I'm not saying we don't have to employ a lot of people. But look at this list that I created here. Like United Nations Security Council. This international body is composed of 15 members and has the power to issue binding resolutions to member states, making it one of the most powerful international organizations. It's 15 people. The Federal Open Market Committee, this group of 12 members within the Federal Reserve System in the United States, significantly influences global financial markets. It's 12 people. The Politburo Standing Committee of the Communist Party of China, this group of 7 members is the highest decision-making body in China, the world's most populous country and the second largest economy. 7 people. The Supreme Court of the United States is composed of 9 justices. This court is the highest in the U.S. and has the final say on legal interpretations in the U.S. We talking about building America, baby. But they got 9 people. The Executive Committee of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, this group of 24 members oversees the global monetary system and provides financial assistance to countries in need. It's 24 people. Excuse me, I'm going to say 24 members. The Board of Governors of the European Central Bank is a group of 25 members. Manages the euro, the whole euro, the second most traded currency in the world. Do you think that if we had enough people that we couldn't start our own currency? I'm against currency, period. I'm more so I can show you how we move to a completely free society where everything's free. I can say that because it's not saying it, it's how do you actually do it? And that's where I shine. The Cabinet of Japan. This group of 20 members governs Japan, the world's 3rd largest economy. The G7 leaders, the group of 7 leaders from the world's most advanced economies, significantly influences global economic politics. All them people, we got $1 trillion worth of buying power. Like I said, where was the $1 trillion worth of buying power when they said they want to sell off the northeastern United States gas reserves? Where was the people talking about it? See, because you didn't strategize to apply it to some shit like that. You were talking about fucking Christmas shopping and Black Friday. That's the only time you think about $1 trillion buying power. Let's boycott Walmart this week, and we're gonna go back next week and shop because we ain't build nothing for ourselves. So since we didn't build nothing for ourselves, we can only boycott what we haven't built a system to replace for a temporary period of time. Y'all keep wanting to blame. So many people want to blame the government, but when that shit went up for sale, we should have been able to buy it. We should have been able to buy the gas reserves of the Northeast United States. And we should have had a little military to be able to sit around it and do 24/7 perimeter with tanks and missiles and shit like that. But y'all ain't on my level. Y'all still playing with boards of directors on little $500 a day companies. They left me in charge. They left me in charge of the integrity of all the assets in a manufacturing plant that produced a net, not gross, but net $40 million a year operation. It was probably net 50 by the time I left. I'm not used to thinking about $16,000 situations. I was ordering parts that cost more than $16,000. From Germany. The board of directors of the World Bank is a group of 25 members. The executive committee of OPEC is 13 members. Now, keep in mind, in reality, a member might be a group of people. Okay? This is what I'm saying. Don't look down on gang people. Don't frown your faces up at gangland. We need to organize. Our warriors are warriors. Shooters gonna shoot. The problem is we ain't giving them the right targets. And we ain't giving them the proper training. See, the best thing about Boy Scouts is by 12 years old, I had my archery merit badge and my rifle merit badge. I was able to put 3 shots. I had to put 3 shots under a quarter and then 3 shots under a nickel from 50 yards away with a 22 caliber rifle at 12 years old. Why do you think I was so good at photography? I've been shooting and aiming my whole life. When you give me a target, a sales goal, when you give me a target, what America really should be, and you give me the right ammunition, I don't miss. That's why I had to let all of your leaders do what they did. I had to let all of your leadership do what they did so that they could prove to you who the right person for the job is. Pasha Paroh. The Cash App is $YNET7. Y'all ready to do some international business? It's America, bitches.